Hello, beautiful and beloved ones. This is Lorelei from the Tightrope to 5D Music Reactions. And if you wonder about that strange title, stick around to the end. I'm going to bring you a special message about this historic shift from third dimensional consciousness to fifth dimensional consciousness for the entire planet, which has never happened before. So that's exciting. But first, we're going to look at a new one for me. You guys referred this one. Isyanasarasvati featuring Dead Squad, Il Sogno. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Here we go. Let's check it out. I've never seen this one before.
Question every second when I'm dreaming, I feel it.
Okay, so you have to fill me in, guys. Sarasvati, I see it now. Is this the dancer? Or is it the singer? Or is it both? Either way is extraordinary. I didn't expect to be seeing dancing. This is pretty cool. Let's go back again. I want to see this again.
Question every second when I'm dreaming, I feel it.
And listen to the high, beautiful sopranic, sort of operatic voices these ones have. Wow.
Climbing to the top of Himalaya, I need to survive. All the scenes they keep on playing, running around in never-ending motion. Is there a sign of sadness coming? Whether a gift or a burden.
Oh! Okay, so I wasn't expecting that. So I've never seen this band before. So I guess the Dead Squad is kind of a rock band, maybe similar to Nightwish. Put it in the comments. Let me know. This is very interesting. I'm going to go back again to that transition there. So I'm thinking of like the what I talked about, or what was talked about in the Saint Germain discourses I recently read, which is the astral realm. And the astral realm is the realm of like all the darkness, let's say, the nightmares, everything misqualified or disqualified, or when people die but they're sort of in that limbo place, and they're in that kind of dark place, kind of like that movie with But dreams may come with, I forget the name, Robin Williams, right? When his wife is in that terrible hell-like place, and that's what's considered like the astral realm of consciousness. So I'm seeing in this thing like all this dark kind of astral realmy, nightmarish kind of looking stuff. That's what I'm seeing here so far. And I think she is the dancer. I think that's Isyana must be the dancer. So correct me if I'm wrong. By the way, don't forget I have some membership tiers now. Take a look and see if you're interested, because it's a lot easier for me to do all of your requests and things in the tiers than on the main channel at times, because of the algorithm and so forth. But so check a look and see if there's anything you're interested in. But let's continue. Dancer too. I'm not sure. Put it in the comments. Yeah, that looks like it. Is this coming from a movie or something else like that? Let me know. Or a game or something? Let me know. And the astral realm of consciousness is the one when people are looking to be sort of devil worshipping or satanic, if you will. And they're trying to access the astral realm of consciousness, which gives them a level of power, but certainly nothing like the divine God power from the creator of everything. But it gives you a sort of a, you know what, when the devil said, I can give you all of this to Jesus, right? He was talking about that astral realm of power. So this is very interesting. Because we cut into their ending there. Let's go back a bit. Okay then. Wow. I'll stop it there. So, okay, certainly they're a very accomplished band, no question about that, and they're very good at telling a story and bringing you into it. And this one is, the dancer is extraordinary, no doubt about that. You know, dancing doesn't get its due, I think, accolades, you know, because it's just such a wonderful thing. And you know, when there is music, the body naturally wishes to move to it. You know, at least that's my experience of it. So dancing is a wonderful art. But let's talk about this in terms of the third dimensional, fifth dimensional kind of piece of it. And where would I put it on my scale? One being very third, fear, pain, suffering, agony, all that darkness. And 10 being the love, peace, joy, bliss. That's the fifth dimension, all of that. And I mean, you could feel a lot of darkness in this thing, right? It's a fair amount of darkness here. Now, it's not we're not seeing like, blood and gore and all that, praise the Lord, but it's moving in that direction. Like if it were going to continue on that path, you might start to see horrible things like that. So it's definitely nothing near love, peace, joy, bliss, fun, play, ease. None of that's in there. So with all of that in mind, I'm just talking not about how well they did it at all. I'm just talking about how it pulls you, and this is pulling you toward third dimension or even toward the astral darker realms. So I'm going with like a 1 to 10 scale, like a 2 on, let's go with 3, 2.5. Split the difference because it doesn't have, like I said, the blood and gore yet. But so it's really not pulling you higher. So if you were to listen to this stuff here, honestly, if you want to be on the path to 5D, the fifth dimension, I would listen to it few and far between because it's not going to pull you up in that direction. It's going to pull you back toward all of the nightmarish stuff. It's kind of like watching horror stories, it's pulling you backwards. It's not pulling you forward. So I never watched them. I never liked them ever, even when I wasn't on this path. So yeah, and again, that's not about how great they did. And I bet you they do other songs. I don't know. Maybe they do other songs that are more uplifting. You can put that in the comment. And maybe this is just a story that they wanted to bring to us in this way here. I'd love to see that. I'd be curious about that. So I want to tell you too, by the way, there's a difference between traveling into the astral realm with all that nastiness, that darkness. In your travels when you meditate, for instance, some who are of a lower vibration will travel into that astral realm. Like let's say the people who would travel, the spiritual, like I don't want to say psychics, but the ones that would contact the dead people and all that. See, they were traveling into the astral realm when they did that, right? And a lot of times in the meditation, they would be going out through the solar plexus chakra, which is in the stomach, the center of the stomach. And that's where you access that astral realm, because that's the place of the ego in this reality. That's the chakra of the ego. So in that realm is all the like third dimensional ego stuff, all the what we call miscreations and dark creations, and the concept of hell, and the concept of being stuck between in between worlds, and all of that's living in the demons and and Satan and all living in that realm there. So we always say never, ever, ever, if you're going to astral travel, go out through the stomach. Always be sure to go out through the crown of the head. And always be sure to put your divine God light protection around you. There are meditations you can find for that, and I should put one in my tier, my third tier at some point, my top tier. I will do that. Let me make note to self. But so you want to put that protection around you of the divine God light before you ever travel. And when you travel, go out through the head. And I'm talking about when you're meditating or when you're traveling in that kind of half awake, half asleep state, traveling out into the universe. Always go out to the crown and always use your protection so that you don't get mussed up in that muck and mire. That's what nightmares come from. They come from that realm trying to invade itself into your consciousness as you sleep. By the way, the Saint Germain discourses, which I'm reading in my top tier right now, talk about how to put a protection around yourself so that when you sleep, you will actually be totally protected. Nothing can interfere, and also be healing your body and uplifting every area of your life. So that's a pretty cool thing. You might want to check out the top tier of my membership tiers. So that's what I want to say about this one. And if you want to know a little bit more about me, by the way, you can go to the About Me video here on this channel, which leads you to a longer video about what I call my forged in the fire journey of this third dimensional life. And also in the notes, you'll find the About Lorelei on Patreon page of some of the things I've created. So you're welcome to check those out. But first off, let's get to our message for today. Evolution versus revolution. See, what we're doing here with this consciousness shift from third dimensional consciousness to fifth dimensional consciousness, typically the way human beings have tried to alter their state or the state of a collective, like for instance in some country or some group of people, they've typically all through the ages, the way they've tried to alter that state and have it be a better state of life has been revolution, right? We all know this. This has been going on since time immemorial. There's been so many revolutions against so many what we call the bad guys, right? There's stories immemorial about them. The most famous revolution is probably, well, ours was pretty, probably the American Revolution was pretty famous. But if you want to think of a more kind of darker revolution, the French Revolution, right, with the guillotine and all of this kind of stuff, like really, there have been some pretty dark revolutions, and it depends on like your perspective as to who was the good guy and who was the bad guy. Because any story you've ever heard about people rising up against the tyrants, and this and that, if you hear it from the perspective of the people rising up, you feel so much compassion for them. But if you have heard it from the perspective of the aristocracy, you would also feel compassion for them. We've seen both sides of the story over and over and over again, right? And we see one side and those poor people, and we say the other side and we say, oh, those poor people, right? I mean, either way, like revolution over and over again. And when you look at that revolution happening over and over again, has it really brought us to the peace, the place of world peace, world harmony, everyone being in love and in joy and in having abundance and opulence? Has it really brought us there? I mean, arguably, we have to say, really, kind of, even this moment, no, we're not there yet, right? Even after all of these revolution after revolution after revolution after revolution, and I'm not making them bad. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, because it was the only option at the time people did it to shift and change. For instance, the American Revolution, very good cause. They had every reason to do it, and it was the only option in order to take their power and have that sanctified, what I will call power, that sovereign power that every human being is entitled to by the divine creator of everything, right? It was the only way to do it at that time. And so I applaud many of the good revolutions on the earth for having at least brought about a better situation. But it still never brought us to that perfect state where like it's a world that works for everyone. It still has not yet brought us, even revolution after revolution after revolution, thousands of years later, we still don't have yet a world that works for everyone. We just don't have it, right? And there's a lot of people the world really doesn't work for in so many different ways. And you can always pick a bad guy, like I said, as to who's at fault for that. But in actuality, it's just actually really the third dimensional state of being. The third dimensional state of being is that you have revolution after revolution after revolution, and you still don't have a world that works for everyone. And that makes sense because it was the game we came down here to play. We came down here to play the game of separation and learn our lessons through playing that game. But now is an historic time. It's an historic time where we are doing something, instead of revolution, we are doing something called evolution. We are evolving from this thousands of years sort of chaos that we've had. We are evolving as the human being, as the human state of consciousness. We are evolving from third dimensional consciousness, where you have all that fear and that pain and that separation and that anxiety, suffering, everything, to the fifth dimensional consciousness, where you only have love, only have joy, peace, bliss, opulence, abundance for everyone, and everyone is safe and secure. I mean, this is the fifth dimensional consciousness, and it's not a revolution. It cannot be a revolution. Revolutions don't work in the long haul. It must be an evolution. And how do we evolve our consciousness to that higher place? What is the way that we evolve our consciousness to that higher place? I'm going to talk about that on another video because it would make this video very, very long. So I'll make a note to self. But I can tell you this, that it is in the evolving of the consciousness that the change occurs for good and forever. Because the world is subject to our consciousness, individual and collective. We are the divine sparks of God. And the world and matter and physical matter and everything in it is subject to our consciousness. What we say goes, whether we know it or not. We've been doing it because we've been saying some pretty rotten things, right? But now we must start to think and say the opposite. Think and say what we want to see in the world in terms of that love and peace and joy and bliss and all of that. And this will absolutely bring about this new world, this world that works for everyone. And again, I'll say more of this on another video about more about how we actually do that. What are the little steps that we can take? And by the way, that listening to that Saint Germain's I Am discourses in my upper tier is one of the big ways to do it. I'll tell you that. But okay, beloved ones, that's all I'm going to say about this now. I'm going to go ahead and send you that wonderful fifth dimensional energy, the love, the peace, the bliss, the joy, the fun, the play, the ease. Sending it to you now. Here we go. Namaste. I honor the God in you.